Einen wunderschönen guten Tag. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure for me being here, having you here, joining me with my little speech a session. My name is Tobias Legerer. I'm responsible for marketing at SmartFlower Energy Technology. As you heard with my entrance, I'm from Austria and we are an Austrian company. And the product we have with us is a real Austrian invention. I would have liked to open my speech with when you entered the building, you already saw a piece of innovation. But then it comes down to earth and you struggle with technique and forklifts. And sometimes innovation really feels like dirty work. Yeah, we try to get our product up in time, but we're still in between. But I think that after my speech, probably you have a chance to get out and see it. So probably the last innovation you're gonna see today when you leave the building is the SmartFlower. In the next few minutes, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about our idea, the innovation we made, and probably how we changed the game. When you think about innovation, there are many books were written about innovation, and you can have many recipes. Our recipe, that's what I can present to you, is rather simple. For us, it just needed 4 ingredients. Yeah, 4 ingredients. What actually helps is that you have people with brain. Yeah. Another thing that helps is if you have a beautiful landscape where you can sit down and think about something. What also accelerates this kind of thinking is probably a bottle of good wine, which we do have a lot of in Austria. So that also helps. And then we found out that whenever people sit down in such a surrounding, what comes in place is a napkin. You probably can remember lots of ideas that were scribbled on a napkin. The same happened to us, so there must be something on these napkins. Probably someone could do a research project on this and see how the napkin works out good ideas. But if you have these 3 things, people with brains, a beautiful landscape, probably some glasses of wine and a napkin, then the idea is probably already yours. Okay, but something is still missing. You have to have a problem or something you want to solve, and probably sometimes it's much more about asking the right questions. When our idea came across, 4 people were sitting down together, having a few glasses of wine, and were thinking about the world and how they could save all the problems of the world. But then they talked about the PV industry. It was 4 guys sitting down there, 2 from the industry and 2 from outside of the industry. And all of a sudden, one of them outside of the PV industry just asked the right question. Why is PV that boring? Why do all the modules look the same? Why do I have to establish a project when I want to install PV on my rooftop? I need to struggle with modules, with cables, with inverters, stuff I don't care, and I don't have a shit of an idea about it. So why not make it really easy? Is there any way we can do it easier? Something where everything is put together and everything is in one box, so that you just plug and play the system and it's just easy. So the idea of something that was a system as such, which comes along with everything you need. But then they thought, okay, it has to be simple, it has to be easy, and it has to be at least the size that it can bring enough energy to a normal household. And if you have a little idea about what the ratio is between square meters you need and a certain energy output, then you gotta come up with a rather large area of modules. So how do you get a large area into a box? And then there was probably the innovation thinking about, could we fold it down, yeah, and could we probably make it look beautiful? That was one of the key requirements. And the question was, can we do modules that do not look like rectangles? Can we do models that more or less look like leaves of a flower? And then there was the picture of a sunflower. When you think about a sunflower, it hangs down when the sun goes up. When the sun comes out, it folds out, then it follows the sun, and when the sun goes down, it folds down again. And if you think about it, you can probably, out of a box, you can create something that has a certain diameter, and in our case the system is about 18 square meters high, which brings us about 2.5 kilowatt hours peak for the system. That was the basic idea, but the idea is good if you don't just do it. Yeah. So we were wondering how we can do it. The company was established in mid 2010, and it took us about a year to get to the first prototype. And doesn't it really look like something out of a James Bond film? The next gadget, yeah. So this is a PV system that tracks the sun in 2 axes, and it can completely fold down to the ground, yeah, when not in operation. That was the first prototype. After an intense re-engineering phase, we got to another prototype which we were able to present early this year at the R20 Plus conference in Vienna. And Arnold Schwarzenegger mentioned in his speech that we have to make renewable energy quite sexy, and I think that that's what we were able to do. Yeah, he mentioned that renewable energy has to look something like SmartFlower as such. That's our system that you see. You can also then see it outside of the building, and I would like to invite you to our booth out there if you want to know or learn more about the SmartFlower, and would be a pleasure for me to tell you more about it and see you there.